After a long and grueling season, it's all going to come down to this. 8 races into the 10-race season. There are 3 championships to be won, and 2 of them can be won this evening. Category 1 can be won by Alex Everitt, and Category 2 can be won by Remo Schneider. But in Category 3, it is still all to play for. Welcome to round 9 of the WTCC, the World Touring Car Challenge. Welcome to the heart of the UK motorsport. Welcome to Silverstone International. Once again, we have WTCC on for you this evening on Thursday, and joining me in the commentary booth this evening is once again Dean Biggles. Welcome, Dean.
Welcome, of course, back here in the United Kingdom. So this track, of course, you'd mentioned the Silverstone. I mentioned, of course, we have to mention our sponsors, of course, so the esports sim Track Racer, 603 Autosports, Apex Tracks, 3D Wrap, digitalmotorsports.com, a major partner there as well, and GP Box, and of course is all presented by JP Broadcasting. And that's that track that you mentioned there as well, to the shorter national layout there of the Silverstone. What's that, 1.6 miles, and for us in the metric system, 2.6 kilometers. But yeah, mate, you want to go over, obviously, the rest of the itinerary and standings and stuff like that?
Yeah. Once again, we have our usual format for this evening. Qualifying of 15 minutes will set the grid for race 1. In race 1, we will have a grid, of course, based on the qualifying. Like I just said, in race 2, also 15 minutes as race 1. But we will have a reverse top 12 from the result from race 1. And in race 3, that will be 20 minutes, a little bit longer. And that grid will be formed based on the result from race 2, and it will be a reversed top 10. These are the cars we have out on track this evening. Alfa Romeo Giulietta and Audi RS3 LMS, Cupra Leon Competizione, Honda Civic, Hyundai Elantra, and Link and Co. 03. These are the results that we had last week. For those who forgot, Nenad Vladisavljevic won in race 1. Ahead of Alex Everitt, and then Artem Makarov in Category 1. Category 2, Remo Schneider, Jürgen M. Peterson, and Ryan Hand. In Category 3, it was Greg Deakin, Adam Locke, and Steven de Grevelier. In Race 2 was Alex Everitt, who won Category 1, Artem Makarov in P2, and Nenad Vladisavljevic in P3 in Race 2. In Category 1, Category 2 was won by Fabio Gil. Jürgen M. Peterson got second, and Paul Hans in P3 in Category 2. Steven de Grevelier won in Category 3. Adam Locke got second, and Greg Deakin third. Then in race 3, it was Nenad Vladisavljevic once again coming through to win that race ahead of Nigel Stock and Alex Everitt in Category 1. Remo Schneider ahead of Norbert Juhasz and Paul Hans in Category 2, and Adam Locke ahead of Steven de Grevelier and Anastasios Georgiades in Category 3. These are the championships. As I said, Category 1 can be won by Alex Everitt this evening. He is currently on 367 points ahead of Artem Makarov on 253. Nenad Vladisavljevic on 229. Vlad Tartara in 4th on 224. And we'll go to Ian Deeney in P5, a little way off of Vlad Tartara. Then we have Geoff Perkins in 6th, 7th, Fraser Rostons 8th, Neil Crave 9th, Varga Gabor, and in 10th, Victor Gorik. That was Category 1 for you. Then we'll move on to Category 2. Remo Schneider is first there. He can win this championship as well, ahead of Norbert Juhasz. Alex Ward in 3rd, Fabio Gil in 4th, Ricardo Pessoa Santos in 5th, Rory O'Shea in 6th, 7th, Robert Stoughton in 8th, Elliot House, Jürgen M. Peterson in 9th, and Anthony Hobbs in P10 in Category 2. And we'll move on to Category 3. Steven de Grevelier is on top there. That championship will probably go down to the last race, of course. Nothing to be said before we see the end of this evening, but quite close there still. Greg Deakin only 12 points behind Steven de Grevelier there in P2. Anastasio Georgiades in P3, Pedro Santos in P4, Adam Locke in P5, Gabriel Lopez P6, Stephen Labon in P7, Carl Smith in 8th, and 9th is Rui Sousa, and in 10th, George J. And then we go on to the ballast for this evening. Alex Everitt will have 40 kilograms, Nenad Vladisavljevic 35, Artem Makarov will have 30 kilograms, Stephen de Grevelier on 25 kilograms, Remo Schneider on 20 kilograms, Adam Locke on 15 kilograms, Jürgen M. Peterson on 10, and Greg Deakin on 5. The cars will have, for the Cupras, they will all have a 5 kilograms added to their car. Lynk & Co 4 kilograms, Alfa Romeo on 3 kilograms, Hyundai on 2, the Honda on 1, and the Audi on 0 kilograms. Then we'll move on to the team championships. The Honda Privateer team is leading the way there. Crest Autosports with Apex Tracks is in second, just ahead of Ukrainian Club in third. Next Gen Racing Blue in fourth. Audi Privateer in fifth. Ukrainian Club Sim Racing 1 in sixth. Mulsanne 19 in seventh. In eighth it is FMS. Fizzgas Motorsports 2 in ninth. It's Cupra Privateer team. And then in 10th it's Next Gen Racing Gold. The Cupras are leading the way in the manufacturer standings. Lynk & Co in second, Alfa Romeo in third. In fourth, it is the Hyundai. In fifth, the Hondas. And in sixth, the Audis. That's a lot to go over. And here we once again have the calendar on our screen. A lot of amazing tracks we've had already, Biggles. But we're at Silverstone National this evening for what will hopefully be, once again, a cracking race.
Yeah, back in the UK, of course, and obviously a little bit of a sad moment this week, obviously, with the passing of Your Majesty the Queen. Did 96 laps around some of these tracks before. So, yes, in the birthplace here of motor racing. We'll see who can get across the line there. Of course, Alex would probably want to like wrap up this championship, as you mentioned, and this evening here at home would be fantastic for him, because obviously he's from the UK. So we're trackside at the moment, of course, for the final bits of practice, and then we'll get ready for the qualifying underway. As you can see there, Dean Biggles and Dan. So the double Ds are back again in the casting box, and will be again for the final round next week. Any particular, and welcome in the chat as well. We've got some people out there. Go for Figures Motorsport there. James, of course, out there. Smash it tonight, guys. You got this. Good luck, Team Crest. We got this. And good luck from is that JP Racing? Say good luck. Sadly, will not be there to participate. That's Geronimo. Geronimo, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Dan does it. Let me do that.
Well, the thing about Alex, because you said it's his home race, he always calls this effectively his home race, because he's an hour down the road of Silverstone, and it's the closest track to or the closest track on this calendar to where he lives. So yeah, this is always, because we've had a lot of races in the UK, but this has always been, as he said, his real home race, this track. So
well, you got to win it there, here, don't you? I thought he pinched up a tent and just lived to the side of the track, but the amount of hours that the man puts on
could be the case.
Driving. Yeah, he could live in the back of the garage there, probably. So that way you get more track time. And that's it for the qualifying. Sorry, practice session. I always get practice sessions and qualifyings mixed up. The race official at the moment there doesn't.
But Biggles, I have something to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Last week, I said we had a Dutch driver in the championship who really didn't sound Dutch. But, well, we have another Dutch driver with us this evening again. Stef Kramers, new to me, and I think new to the championship as well. I haven't seen him before. He is in the Honda, but yeah, another Dutch driver on the grid, which is good to see.
Yeah, of course it is. You guys like your motor racing, we know that. Looking pretty good to rail on track to get another. And by the way, both Dutch drivers did quite well in the F1 GP, of course, because it was actually quite scary, because Alex had an operation. Alex Albon, yeah, that's the reason why he couldn't drive in the Williams, is having a little bit of a moment as all the cars are coming out on track to start their qualifying session of 15 minutes. Yeah, he had some respiratory problems and had to have undergo a surgery, believe it or not.
Yeah. Well, so, I actually had to translate.
And then we had the Dutch driver, which is, how do you pronounce his name again? Of course, the reserve.
You mean Nick de Vries?
Yes.
That's actually a really nice name to pronounce for you UK guys.
Nick de Vries, is it?
Exactly.
De Vit. Yeah, really? Doesn't sound like it's got an F in it.
if you really want to do it the Dutch way, it's Nick de Vries. Now I'm automatically doing it in the UK way, but if you really want to do it in the Dutch way, you have to say Nick de Vries.
De Vries, okay. Well,
Yeah.
typical Silverstone weather at the moment. We'll go on board of Alex, mate. You can take us around this national version of the Silverstone track from on board our current championship leader.
Well, it's a track that provides some good racing. Purple in Sector 1 for Alex already. Currently no times set on the board yet, but that could change in a second. Alex Everitt coming down then to the left-hander. Gotta go down a couple of gears. Turn in really late, but then you have to set the car up for the right-hander here. As you go now onto the nose camera, you can really see the sense of speed here on this camera. You can really see how fast they go through that corner. Then we come on to the start-finish straight once again. It's a really short track. Once again, lap times will be just under a minute this evening. So a couple of laps or a lot of laps will be run, I think, and will be close with the amount of laps that we will do. It might be 16, but it also could be 15. Depends on how the start goes for these drivers. But Alex Everitt at the moment, 20 down on Vlad Tartara.
And of course, we're gonna have to go over to the man, of course, Nenad, and with the best last name in racing business. That's got the of course the team that they're up against too, with the Ukrainian racing team. That's the blue, and they're trying to get a nice tow, I believe, off Nenad there.
Well, I've had a look, and we spoke about this last week. Nenad has some. Well, how do you say it, Pickles? Help me with this. He has some disabilities.
Yes, it's a handicap or disability exactly, but yeah, go ahead.
And he actually squeezes something with his mouth, and with that he puts on more or less throttle, and he brakes with that as well. So this man is really going to extreme lengths in order for him to be able to race, and that is I mean, huge respect to Nenad, because if you want to take a look, it's on the Actual Vision YouTube channel. I will post a link to that video, but there you can see how Nenad drives. So I'll post a link in a second in the chat.
Absolutely, yeah. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. James had explained it before. That's what I was trying to explain to you, but I didn't get it was a lot that he does, which is just obviously massive respects to the game and the developers and stuff like that for the tools that make that disposal so that everybody can drive.
There we go. The link is in the chat. So if you want to see how Nenad Vladislavievich drives, I would say go and watch it. It's incredible how this man drives. So yeah, huge respect for this man.
And so far at the moment, up and drive well. Whilst we're talking about him, up in a P4 currently at the moment. Alex is on the pole. Jorgen Peterson and Vlad. I'm trying to see. We've also got all the other Top Guns, aren't we? Really, as you said, but we do have some new drivers in that you'd mentioned. I think we have another Croatian driver here that's sitting in the pit lane at the moment. That will be Borki or Dorovic. You can get that surname there.
Borki Obradovic.
Obradovic, there it is. You're very good with those Croatian names, as well as the Ukrainian names. In fact, of all the names you are, I think you've even got a little bit of an edge on James, and James is pretty damn good. There's your other, so I was going to say Norwegian. I'm sorry, my apologies. Netherlands driver.
Steph Kramers.
Yeah, Steph Kramers, and you need to get orange back in your flag too. I told you guys about this when I lived in the Netherlands. I kept saying, why don't you put orange on your flag? You used to have it back in the day. And obviously, those represent the different regions, don't they, in the Netherlands? The different colours, of course, because I think Holland is orange, isn't it, for the royalty or something? Holland region?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, it's not a very good camera here at the moment when they go on the pit lane, but yeah, I mean, so you can have orange back now because we have a thing called technology with dyes. So that was the reason why it used to have orange, but it used to fade and end up looking red, and so they just kept it that way. So you guys can now bring it back to orange if you want.
Should we have like an orange dot maybe in the middle of the white stripe, so that we have?
Yeah, there you go. Why don't you?
White, orange, blue.
Just call up your parliament, mate. Here, I got a telephone number. I'll DM it to you. Just give them a call and get a referendum underway. 8 minutes is still left of our qualifying, and the usual suspects are at the top of the timesheets to see if anybody else could pull a surprise here in the United Kingdom. Trying to see if there's any other drivers at the moment. I know Rory has got some pace and he's down here at the moment.
Ricardo Pessoa Santos says in chat, Ninad is an extraordinary human being. Shared the last week with him on Discord. He is just awesome. Discord and Race Room, he says.
There you go. Thank you very much for that.
So, yeah.
I think we all agree on that one. And man proves it on track as he goes up at a P3 as well. So getting a little bit quicker and quicker and quicker. And if you look at those times, of course, so we're talking like milliseconds. Well, it's relatively short track, but still, it's close. And we've seen close racing, haven't we, all season? And I expect to see nothing less than more and more wheel-to-wheel bumping and grinding. And these cars can take a beating. But last week we saw quite a few spins, didn't we? Which is very kind of unusual to get a touring car to spin around.
Yeah, this track, though, doesn't really lend itself to be able to spin your car. But it's a track, because I've done an MX-5 broadcast here as well, I think just last week. And this track is really, really exciting. In that cast, we had 4 MX-5s going 4 wide into the left-hander at the end of the straight. And man, it was awesome to see. So let's hope we see that with these TCRs as well.
I'm sure we will. And once a little bit of traffic up the road here between the all-link car. That's Remo Schneider there as he pulls into the pit lane, which is of course the old pit lane straight, isn't it? That's not the current Formula 1 where the big wing stadium, obviously the big wing pit lane entrance is for Silverstone. This is just the Formula 2 I always refer it to, but yeah, all the other GT cars and touring cars.
It's the section with Cops, Maggots, the Wellington Straight, Brooklands, Blufffield, Woodcut, and the National Pit Straight. So,
unfortunately, the track map doesn't come up. For some tracks it does. I think only for the full tracks, not the shorter versions of them. So I can't pull that up, unfortunately, to show you on the overlay.
Well, I think if we just look at the track, or if we go on board with someone, you can just see how fast and flowing this track is. You have straight. Cops, a really, really fast corner. We all know Cops. Cops, one of the most popular corners, I think, on every racing calendar that you have. If Silverstone is on it, everyone remembers Silverstone because of Cops. Of course, the quick right-hander of Abbey at the end of the International Pit Straight. So a lot of fast-flowing corners. That is a little bit too wide, Artem. That is not where you want to be going. And he resets back to the pit lane. It's still Alex Everitt at the moment on pole position. And at the moment, he is just over half a tenth ahead of Vlad Tartara. But yeah, Alex Everitt doing everything he can at the moment in order to make sure that he has the best chance of taking that championship. If he just wins, because you promised us last week to win every race of the 3 races we have. Yeah. If he just does that this evening, that makes it a lot more easier for us to count on points.
And he slipped up last week and didn't get a race win. Just a couple of seconds at that. Consistency is key. Believe it or not, there was a championship I did the other day. You know, we broadcast a lot here on James Parrott's Broadcasting Network and different leagues and things. And it was a driver won the championship by not a single race win. Do you believe that? So consistency sometimes works.
Well, in shorter championships, that is more difficult to do. But in a 10-race championship, that is, if you just consistently, just like Alex here, finish in the top 10, because that's, or in the top 10, in the top 3, because that's what he's done. He has only finished outside the top 3 in 6 of the at the moment we've had 21 races, so only 6 of those races he has finished outside of the top 3 and not too far outside of the top 3. So that's just the amount of consistency you need in order to win a championship. As they always say, a championship is a marathon, not a sprint.
Ah, you're exactly right on that one. And here's Borky. If I'm getting his name correctly. I love that. It sounds great. But he's, once again, he's the second Croatian driver now on the grid I'm getting correct, right? That is a Croatian flag, of course. Yeah, the same as Nenad's. And yeah, and he's actually just a little bit ahead of his countryman. Sorry?
That is, I think, not a Croatian flag.
No?
That is a Serbian flag, I think.
I get it wrong. I'm sorry, guys. I think you get it right over the whole. Yeah, there we go. I think you're right. Pretty good with my flags, usually. We know this one. And that's, here's your Dutch driver, my friend. And Steph's gone up to P3 currently at the moment, so they pushed them back a little bit.
Isn't that a Belgian flag?
No. It is not a Belgian flag. Don't get me all confused. Belgium's got... This is a Belgian flag, my friend. Stephen.
Stephen the Gravelayer, of course,
yes.
leading the way in Category 3. Oh, that is not where you want to be going, my friend.
Yeah, and then we got to obviously try to do some crunching in numbers as we get deeper into these 3 races, because obviously we can do the math there, and I believe that Alex said he's going to try to help us out there and try to figure it all out to try to see. Mr. Artem Makarov here. Now, he's got some pace, and he's got his teammate Vlad up the road there in P3. Let's see if he can actually improve a little bit more in his qualifying performance with 2 minutes and change remaining. By the way, please let us know if those levels are okay out there. My microphone might be a little bit too loud. I'll turn it down. I had to boost it severely for another league the other day, and I don't want to be too loud. I don't want to drown out Dan's beautiful voice.
And look at that. While we were watching Artem Makarov go around, look who's taken pole position. Nenad Vladisavljevic with a 59.088, 19 thousandths of a second ahead of Alex Everitt. And he takes pole position in the Audi. He, at the moment, into the pit lane. Boki Obradovic, can he follow his fellow countryman? And
we'll see if Alex can,
up pole position or in second and put Alex Everitt another position down.
And this is Alex's probably last couple of laps to give it done. He wants to, I think you want to get everything here. What would you call it? The quad factor? It's the quad, isn't it? It's not the trifecta, it's the other one after it. You get all 4, of course, so 3 race wins and all of the 3 races they're going to have and the qualifying. So that's your 4.
Exactly.
I'm sure he'd want to do that at home, wouldn't it? And of course he'll be left in the driver's trophy, no doubt.
Yeah, but Alex, it's such a tough ask, man, to be able to win all 3 races, of course, with 2 of those races being reverse grids, and race 3 a reverse top 18.
40 kilograms of fuel, I believe, of ballast added to the car. It was a 40 or 50 that he has.
Yeah, he has gone shopping, and he has bought all the most expensive champagne to spray when he wins that championship. But
it's got, well, I think that the trophy's going to wait about that. So, see.
Yeah.
He's already got the trophy. They've said, look, we'll loan you the driver's trophy, but there you are for the qualifying results.
There we have him for you. Nenad Vladisavljevic takes pole position. Alex Everitt, man who can wrap up the championship in P2, only 19 thousandths behind Nenad. Vlad Tatara in P3, Steph Kramer's in P4, Boki Obradovic in P5, Jurgen and Peterson in P6, Alex Ward in P7, P8 is Nigel Stock, P9 is Artem Makarov, Paul Hans in P10, Fraser Rostens P11, P12, Norbert Juhasz, P13, Alexander Nagachenko, P14, Adam Locke, P15, Stephen the Gravelayer, 16, Remo Schneider, Greg Deacon in P17, P18, Stephen Labon, Fabio Gillen, P19, P20, Elliot House, P21, Rui Sosa, Carl Schmidt in P22, Barry Evans in P23, Gabriel Lopez in P24, and Ryan Hand in P25.
So 25 gladiators are going to be grueling it out all over the track. I give a little bit of a warm-up period at the moment. About 5 minutes, just so that everything can load in properly. There's that camera angle sliding all the way down. That's quite nice, isn't it? Actually, it's like walking with the camera guys. Is I can see down the pit lane entrance, and we're going to see some of those drivers coming out, of course. And Nenad will be out first to get some more practice in. Practice makes perfect, as they say.
Yeah, well, Biggles, if you have the things that he has, of course, you have to practice in the end way more. For us, as we can use all the normal stuff. For us, it's way more easier, I think, to just jump into the car and be quick that way. But I think with the way he has to drive, that is way more difficult. So I think the more he practices, the quicker he's only gonna get.
And just stopped at the moment and decided might be just pulling into the pit lane. No, he's just completely stopped there and just slowed down to allow a bit of space, I guess. Once again, it's just now a little warm-up, so you're not going to be worrying about anybody's qualifying laps that you'll be throwing at, because that's already completed.
Yeah. Well, the way he steers as well, he has a special glove to his left hand. And he can't actually move his left hand. He just uses the weight of his arm to push his stick forward, backwards, to the right or to the left. So he's actually attached with that glove to the stick he is steering with.
That is amazing. I have to watch this video. I still haven't. It's posted in there, as you said. I have to see that. I still haven't had a chance to do it. And obviously, after this race, I definitely will. And
you sadly don't see him in action, but you can see the tools that he uses to drive, and he explains how he drives with it. I think if he of course wants to, it would be awesome to see him actually driving a car in that way, because I would actually love to see how it actually looks, because he has to bite on something or push down with his lips on something to actually put gas. It's just ridiculous for me to think of that, because of course there's a sensor in that feels how much pressure you're putting on the thing. So,
oh yeah, no, that's a good one out there, Nita. If you get the time, my friend, yeah, make us show us make another video, I guess, and show us about your racing. You get the chance. Yeah. You got next week, of course, as well too. That for the final. Then we'll go to Brands Hatch, and perhaps you can show us there, or show us before Brands Hatch would be great. As we admire the skills that are required to do that. Be absolutely just mind-boggling.
Well, that just shows you every time, over and over again, and it just, nothing can stop anyone from doing something. You just have to put in the time. You just have to strive towards your goal. You just have to work for it and try and do everything possible in order to achieve that. And he has done that, and with his disabilities, he can still drive.
Yep.
Although it is not in the way that we do, but he still can drive, and I think that's amazing.
Drive quick as well too.
Yeah.
Not just driving at the back of the field. He's at the top end, the sharp end. And Steph out there, Krem is your actual fellow. If you are, are you from the Netherlands, my friend? He said, because he said it was an intense qualifying pace, and for pole was there. Yeah, you're right up there too, my friend. So yep. It was quite good, and just confirm out there if you are Dutch. If you are Dutch, you can see you can write something in Dutch, and Dan will can translate it for me.
So, Steph, a challenge for you there. Write something in Dutch, the most ridiculous thing you can write, and I will try and translate it. Don't try and put a word that isn't translatable really into.
Yeah. Well, you do that too, so that even if you were to throw it in like Google Translate can't do it, because you're using some slang or something like that as well too, that Google Translate doesn't do. That way you know for a fact that Dan must be from the Netherlands to understand that one. Because I would just cheat and put it in Google. Yeah, he is Dutch, there you go. He can dig in and do that one. Actually, you might have to after it. Well, you got a quick second or so to do it, because we're counting down for the warm-up now to get ready for the race.
Yeah. What do we expect? Do we expect Alex to immediately go for it at the start, or do we expect him to hold back a little and just see what happens?
No, he's going to go for it. You want to get it done quickly and early, because you get up the road, mate, and you're unstoppable. Really, we found that, haven't we, from a lot of the drivers in the first couple of races. Here, of course, they there we go. So he. All right, what is that? Okay, you can translate that then, if you're allowed to.
No,
let's just say. How about you translate it in a friendly way, family-friendly way, if it's possible.
He says the pancake boat, and there it starts. Has to go through something which I don't know the English word of, in order to get to the sea. Okay,
that's definitely a very Dutch. If you don't know a translation word for it, then absolutely. We're going to get ready for some racing now. So good luck out there, Steph, of course, and good luck to all the other drivers if you are listening. Once again, give us a wave. Give us a flash of your lights, of course, when you're driving. If you are driving and you have a minute to acknowledge that you are listening to us, flash your lights and let us know. Or if you want, you can do a couple of donuts, but hopefully just wait to the end for that. I believe. So we're just counting down for the race. 15 minutes we're going to have, which is... how many laps do you think you're going to get around here, Dan? 15 minutes.
It's got to be close. It's got to be close to 15 or 16. Yep. But here we have all our gladiators on the grid. Nenad Vladislav on the pole position. And the Firefoot lights are on. They're on their way for race 1. Nenad Vladislav, not a great start. It's Alex Everitt immediately up alongside him. He has to back out of that one. And he's going to pressurize him into turn 1. Alex Everitt, let's see what he's going to do. Nenad Vladislav had a good start there off the line. Looked to be... the initial start didn't look as good as that one from Alex, but Alex had to slot in because the second part of that start was way better for Nenad Vladislav. Got the traction down way better, but now the long straight. Nenad Vladislav is going to have to defend from Alex Everitt. He's not going to wait in race 1. Alex Everitt, at this point, has a championship on the line. He's going to try it around the outside of Brooklands. Can he keep it there? The answer is no, he can't. And Nenad Vladislav slots in ahead of him once again.
Yeah, he's not going to let him pass, of course. You don't have to. You want to make it as difficult as possible for the man that could win the championship to do that. And here we go, another attempt here from Alex now.
Yeah, look at that. He now has the inside if he can keep it there. 4 cops, and surely it is going to be Nenad Vladislav who has to yield here. Yes, he does. Cops, it's not a car you want to go through side by side with these cars. And Ryan Hand has a drive-through penalty for a false start. So he jump-start there, and it's going to be Vlad Tartara trying to make the move up the inside of Nenad Vladislav. Look at that. Nenad also looking up the inside of Alex Everitt on Maggot's corner, and then we move on to the Wellington Straight once again, the run up to Brooklands. But already, as I said, this circuit is providing some amazing racing.
It's brilliant. Absolutely, you'd expect it. And look at that, at the front, it's still elbows out, bumping and grinding. They're still at it. There's also a little bit of action, a little bit further back to Epitope. I'm trying to keep an eye on that. And that's a battle for the midfield there between Fraser, poor hands there, Norman. Craig Deacon, Elliot House. We saw that Ryan Hand has a drive-through penalty. We know it's Ryan now. We confirmed it last week, haven't we? We've asked a couple of times before in the past if it's Rain or Ryan. Ryan said it was Ryan. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
What is happening further back here with Stevie here, Remo Schneider?
Stephen the Grave there at the moment in P16, just behind Adam Locke and Remo Schneider, who can wrap up the Category 2 Championship, but at the moment I don't think he's really in a position to do so. He's behind the Category 3 driver in terms of Stephen the Grave there, and there are a couple of Category 2 drivers now ahead of him, and he could only win in race 3 if everything would go to plan. So I think this could be already his championship, or his hopes of winning the championship in this round over, if he isn't going to climb up the order a little bit. Fraser Russell's though trying to make the move on Artem Makarov.
Ooh, going back out. Nino's dropped a couple places. Apologies, I had to go back to this one. Because now's back at P6. He's made a mistake somewhere. Because Bulky's gone through.
And Vlad Tartara now the one behind Alex Everitt, but Nenad Vladislav making up positions as we go now. He made that little mistake and he's trying to make up for it. Look at this then. It is Steph Kramers around the outside of Vlad Tartara. He's going to have to keep the car there in order to go around the outside, maybe off Mega's corners. If he can do so, he will have the exit here. And he can in that Honda. That Honda will not have the straight line speed, but he gets pushed out wide by the Lincoln Co. of Vlad Tartara. Now is actually going to lose another position maybe to M. Peterson. Can he make the move, or maybe it is Stephen Kramer's going to go up the inside of Vlad Tartara once again. No, he has to slot in behind, and they're single file once again. Also coming through now is Nenad Vladislav on Alex Ward actually, and he's losing another position. And Boki Obradovic in P6 at the moment, the newcomer in the championship. Both newcomers, both Steph and Obradovic, doing really well here in race 1.
Yes, absolutely. It's difficult to overtake clearly, because you can see you've really just got to haji-baji your way through there. Otherwise, there's really no heavy braking zone to get it done, like we've seen in some of the other previous tracks. So, yeah, one little mistake too, get a little bit wide, as you could see there before with Nenad, and he dropped a couple of places back. Remember, he was pushing, he was the one leading there, and Alex, once Alex got past, and he was trying to force his way past, so a couple laps ago. Certainly now is going to be a man way up the road. That's the thing. And when Alex gets up the road, mate, he's pretty much unstoppable, even with the 40 kilograms of baby on board.
Yeah, and now look who's that up the inside. That is going to be Paul Hans. And he will try and make that move. He's going to have to stick it around the outside just a little bit further up the road. Is also Artem Makarov trying to get a position on Alex, on Fraser Ross, that is, excuse me. And is he going to be able to make that pass stick? He's on the outside of Cobbs. Is he going to stick it around the outside? Alex Ward still on the inside. They're going to go side by side through Cobbs. And it is, at the end, Artem Makarov who gets ahead. But they're still side by side. This move is still not over. And this is now allowing Alex Ward to almost make the move on Fraser Ross as well. He's going to have to slot him behind. They're single file once again. But this is amazing, Pickles.
Absolutely, there it is. Yeah, I don't know. Every time I see side by side through Cops, I just think of Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton. That's what always scares me. But at least these cars are not as quick as a Formula One and a little bit stronger. And here they go right now. We got Paul Hans as they're going to go braking into. I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't know all the corners in this national track. Yeah, it is. I'm just all over the place because the action's up the road, of course. Between these two, Fraser and Markov. Again, Makarov always there all season long. Just two for now. Battle.
Yeah, together with Fraser Rostons. Once again, those two have found each other on track. Is he now going to try and go out around the outside of Cops? Doesn't really seem to have the speed. He's going to take the wider line to Cops. It's going to give him a better exit speed. Is that going to pay off in the end for Artem Makarov? He's going to try and look up the inside of Maggot's corner. And he's going to be able to make that one stake onto the Wellington straight. Down the inside he goes. Can he keep it there? The answer is yes. They do touch on the apex. And is Fraser Ross going to be able to make that one stake around the outside? Who was that slow around the outside of the corner there? There was a car stranded. I don't know exactly who that was. But that might be Rui Sousa. I don't really dare to say that. But it might have been side by side here now. Still Fraser Ross and Artem Makarov. And it's once again Fraser Ross who comes out ahead.
Yeah, further back too, there's some extra action, of course, happening. So we've got multiple battles that usually occur here. And we're 8 minutes or so remaining of our 15-minute race, and we've already got 7 laps done, so it's just go by go. You have to push. You have to go argy-bargy further up on this field again. You have to go argy-bargy to get an overtake done. There's just really no space. You've got to have a little bit of paint scraped, maybe taking a mirror off, but that seems to be the only way to get it done.
Yeah, and it looks like here, once again, side by side. Paul Hans side by side now with, I think this is Nigel Stock. Yes, it is. And he's going to make that move up the inside and onto the Wellington straight. He's finally ahead.
All while Alex right now has just pulled in, got a cappuccino, and come back out because it's 2 seconds down the road and not have to worry about this party. As I said, once Alex gets up the road, mate, that's it. He's pretty much just unstoppable. So, but this is where it is very stoppable in the middle of the field of the race here, battling it out for P10 currently.
Yeah, Paul Hans around the outside of Nigel Stock is going to be able to defend this one. They're still side by side. Oh, and they do touch Nigel Stock here together with Paul Hans. And Paul Hans has to slot in behind now, pressurized by, I think it is Norbert Juhasz. Yes, it is Norbert Juhasz. This is about to become a three-way fight for P10. Here we have on board with Norbert Juhasz. And we are front row seats to this battle. Paul Hans around the outside of Maggots. Is he going to be able to make that one stick? Do they touch once again? No, they keep it clean this time round. And it's going to be Norbert Juhasz looking up the inside now of Nigel Stock. But Paul Hans has dropped back. And it is actually Norbert Juhasz who's now going to try and make the move on Paul Hans here.
We might have just got it done. Apologies about some of those camera angles. There's Paul Haas there. We do have a little bit of netcode sometimes. You can see there's cars jump. Oh, wow. Jumping around literally as I say it.
But it is Paul Hans who has now lost 2 positions instead of gaining 1. And Norbert Juhasz also paused on him as well. Alex Everitt, though, like you said, when he is out in front, he is unstoppable.
How about the other Alex here as well, too? Alex Ward. behind.
Never celebrate too early though, because we've seen you can lose it if you underfuel a little bit. But Alex Ward, oh my goodness, it's also close, and they do touch there, but almost pushing it through the corner there is Artem Makarov on Fraser Rustin's. Alex Ward lurking in the background as well. Of course, those Cupra drivers, Fraser Rustin's and Alex Ward, in the same team, so they might help each other. Is this maybe Fraser Rustin's holding up Artem Makarov maybe in order for Alex Ward to get past?
Oh, good question.
Anyway,
Yeah, you got to think about championship points here.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of crunching and numbers going on down there with the engineers, as well as the drivers themselves have a little calculator that's no doubt just stuck on with Velcro onto the dashboard, so they can sit there and just start punching some numbers in there and work it all out. Further up the field there, of course, Vlad Tara, after dropping a couple places in this race at the moment, still in here representing his team, of course, Link & Co. there. And they want to try to do something about their team championship standings.
Yeah, Vlad Tatar is not going to try and make the move around the outside of Nenad Vladislavievich. Not able to make the move. He's going to slot in behind onto the Wellington Straight, trying to get the better exit. Maybe in order to do something into Brooklands, but it does seem like Nenad Vladislavievich got the better exit, and that gap is a little bit too big in order for him to try something down into Brooklands. But look at this battle once again. Stephen de Grevelaer is who we're looking with now, going past Remo Schneider, and Greg Deakin is now also past Remo Schneider. Oh, that is Remo Deakin braking very late, and they do touch. He goes into the back of him, that makes him go wide, and it's now once again Remo Schneider trying to have a look around the outside of Greg Deakin, but not able to do it. But Remo Schneider maybe feeling the nerves of winning that championship here, Pickles.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, it's not encouraged, but yeah, it's Fabio. I think there's side-by-side action just a little bit further up the road from them. Of course, there's Norbert there, Paul Hans, and yeah, you are allowed to use. These are teammates again. You kind of are allowed to use the car ahead to brake a little bit, right? But not too much. Not too much.
Not too much. To a certain extent, you can use it, but you can't put the car ahead of you wider. You can't push the car.
It's not bumper cars, is it?
Exactly. It's not karting, let's say it like that, where you can't do that. Rental karting, you can do that, but this is a little bit far away from rental karting. These cars can take a hit, these TCRs, we do know that, but they're not made for pump drafting and everything like that.
And plus, you got to pay for them. So if you break it, you pay for it. That's the rules. And I don't know, you probably have to about have a cool $100,000. What do you reckon they're worth? Probably about $100K as a racing car, with all the gizmos and everything.
I wouldn't dare to say that, because I think it varies. But Steph Kramer's here, not doing too bad actually in his first race in his WTCC championship. But neither is Vlad Tatara or Boki Obradovic, so both of them doing really, really well here, both in the top 6. And Steph Kramer's at the moment, it looks like he's keeping up with Alex Everitt in terms of lap times.
Yeah, they're at the front, as you can see. A little bit of a lonely race now. Well, Jorgen's still keeping a little bit for company down the road there in P3 by just under a second or so, which is a lot of time in a very short track, as you know.
I don't think, Biggles, that Alex Everitt minds a lonely race at this point. This could be the evening where he wraps up the championship, so a lonely race doesn't really matter for him. Even though it's a lonely race, he will always be nervous, because once he gets across that line, those nervous feelings will be gone, because he knows he's won the race. But everything can go wrong in a race like this. You can run out of fuel like we've seen him do in race 1 at Watkins Glen. So maybe a bit of PTSD there for him, but yeah. This race is not over until the fat lady sings, so we'll keep an eye on that. But
you're not allowed to say that anymore. You're allowed to say that it's till the beautiful lady sings. You got to be politically correct of everything these days. And look at this. Don't worry about be politically correct on track right now with Craig Deakin and Elliott House and Stevie in the background, and that's also they're all behind this man, Mr. Remo Schneider. As I said there in P15, the Swiss driver.
Yeah, Greg Deakin is the first Hyundai behind him. They are 16 seconds away from the lead, actually.
Yeah, and this is
So
the
it
leader
looks
right now,
a lot.
mate, with 48 seconds and change to go.
Well, it's going to be close, like I said. We might be able to do 16 laps, but Alex has the opportunity here to maybe slow down the pace a little bit and go across the line and make this the last lap. So I don't know what he's going to do, but it's going to be close, though.
I think
Look at that, 30 seconds left now.
Can't see on the lap that time at the moment. I just want to see if there's other action, of course, that you could see that at the moment there between Paul.
Well, last lap for Alex Everitt was a 59.2 lap time. So if he does that again, we will do another lap, and it does look like Alex Everitt is going to do so. So that will provide everyone else another opportunity to try and get past their respective battles or their respective rivals on track at the moment. Fabio Gil just keeping ahead of Paul Hans in the Alfa Romeo as well. But Alexander Nagachenko here in the fight with Norbert Juhasz. This has been a battle that has been going on for the whole race, basically. We are now on the final lap. So Alex Everitt has started the final lap of race 1. He has done everything he could at the moment, leading the way. This battle around the outside is going to have to do. It has a little look, but thinks the better of it. Norbert Juhasz, can he make the move onto the Wellington Straight? The last time we do this race,
I don't think so. Yeah.
Battle for P10.
Yeah, keep an eye on where Alex is, because we might have to go over to him in a second.
Yeah, I don't think we have to do that now. Alex Everitt is going to try and come across the line. Alex Everitt is actually going to lap someone. I think that is Barry Evans, but he comes across the line to win race 1. He's done everything he could for his championship hopes. And his championship hopes are kept alive to win it this evening by winning race 1. Steph Gamers comes across the line only 2 seconds behind Alex Everitt. But what a battle this has been. A little bit further on in the field, I think. We have Alexander Nagachenko just behind Norbert Juhasz, but they have come across the line as well. And Nenad Vladislavjevic, this man, started from pole position, but dropped back down to P6 after a little mistake and then had to work his way back up the order. And ultimately finished the race in P4. Boki Obradovic then, a good first race for him in the championships. And here we have the result for you on your screen. Alex Everitt has won race 1 and has done the maximum he could do in race 1 to keep his championship hopes alive. Steph Kramers in P2, Mads B. Peterson in P3, Vladislavjevic in P4 with the fastest laps, so showing that he does have some genuine speed here. Tatara in P5, P6 for Obradovic, Fraser Rostons in P7, Makarov in P8, Stock in P9, 10th Ward, 11th Guild, 12th Hans, 13th Juhasz, 14th Nagachenko, 15th Schneider, 16th Deakin, 17th Elliot House, 18th Stephen de Graveler, Rui Susan P19, P20 is Hand, Lopez in 21st, Smith in 22nd, Evans 23rd, and 24th, I think it was.
I can't get it for you, unfortunately, there, because that'll give us a lot of time, but there obviously are your race results from the first race that was just conducted. I believe that was correct. Yes, it is, just to make sure. Wow. Overtaking's proving to be notoriously difficult around here, so more than anything, you have to manage your micro mistakes.
Yeah, Steph Kramer says, P2, let's go, congratulations on that, buddy. And he also says the Honda is so slow on the straights compared to the Link & Co. And with this track almost being a lot of high-speed corners with straights, that is hurting him probably a lot.
Absolutely. So we'll have a little bit of a change of the servers at the moment so that we can get ready for that grid base from race 1 for the reverse. The grid based on race 1, of course, the reverse top 12 on that. So you do your mathematics on that. How are you going to do your mathematics currently at the moment on the championship standings, my friend? That'll be the key, won't it?
Yeah. Well, at the moment, the thing that we can say is that it is Alex Everitt who's done absolutely everything he could here in race 1, and he has actually extended his championship hopes, and he could win it actually in the next race.
Mm-hmm. So, I think he wants to win all 3, my friend. You know that for a fact.
Yeah, but he could actually win the championship in the next race.
I'm sure Alex knows that because he's got that that 40 kilogram. Just double confirm that's 40 kilograms again on the championship ballast there.
Yes, it is.
It's the 40 kilogram trophy that he's already. We put it in the trunk of the car just to give him a little bit of a taste of what he may very well have putting up on a trophy. And yeah, confirmation. I think if he finishes ahead of Makarov in race 2, it is secured, and that's Artem Makarov at the moment. And where did Artem finish in that last race? Well, he finished in P8, mate, and not the place you want to be, isn't it? If you're trying to do everything you possibly can to make sure that Alex does not take this championship away, is because we're going to be loading back in, because now we're going to go to our second race. We have a little bit of a warm-up of 15 minutes. 5 minutes, sorry. God. Warm-up 15 minutes would be a race.
Also, because if I did my maths correctly, Remo Schneider's his opportunities of winning the championship this evening are done. So he will not be able to win the championship this evening.
You mean Slim and Dumb have turned up to the racetrack, and unfortunately, Slim is not here. Slim didn't turn up. That's already done. I'd really just messed that one up. That's why we have warm-ups, mate. 2 minutes of a warm-up. So grab yourself a drink or a bit of popcorn, hot dogs, whatever you want. What would you get here? Sausage rolls and meat pies, a classic, obviously fish and chips, of course, very, very British dish that you'd have. And you actually get fish and chips a lot too in the Netherlands as well too, mate. I remember when I was living there. I'd have a lot of fish. I'd eat around the corner from the office. Can't remember what the fish I was eating a lot. It's called. Did you guys have? Starts with K or something? Yeah.
Kibbeling?
I don't know. It's a small little fish. Very, very tasty. Just trying to remember. Back in the day.
Kabeljau?
Yeah.
That could be a thing as well.
No, I can't remember right now.
I'm trying to help you here, but
I know. I just can't.
If you can't remember,
There's
that's not really
10,000 different types of fish species. What is a popular one that you have in the Netherlands? But that's the thing.
Kibbeling, really, is actually...
Kibbeling, that's it. That's probably what it is. I think that would be it. It's a small little fish, right? It's really tasty.
No, it's actually leftovers of all fish, and they do like a really tasty layer around it. Then they bake it, and you have all these little things in like a thing with sauce in it.
Oh, okay. So we do have to give a bit of a shout out. Obviously, this is our results for the previous race, but big shout out, of course, to Jorgen and Borky at the moment. And where did they finish? Of course, well, we all know that Borky, I love that name, doesn't it? He finished in P6. You know how to pronounce his surname, of course, there.
Let me try that, Bagels.
Yeah.
Obradovic.
And of course, Jorgen is the Denmark driver in P3 that finished brilliantly on the podium there too. Peterson.
Jürgen Madsby Peterson.
Yep. Good job for them. Fastest lap went to Nenad too, so he did steal something away there from Alex. Alex hasn't got everything just yet. Alex obviously got the qualifying, but I'm sure and the win, and I'm sure Alex wants everything here this evening. That's you get me to get fastest lap in every race. And a race win in every race. And of course, he's already got the qualifying. So he's got the qualifying and the race wins. Missed out on one fastest lap. Now he's going to get another race win. Try to get the fastest lap, I guess. And then repeat it all over for the third race. But of course, this is a reverse grid. Now, where will he be starting, mate? So based on the 12, right? So that means that Mr. Hans, Paul Hans, and actually Frazier will be starting, won't he? I think. Is it Paul Hans will be starting? You gotta do the math and help me out here. On the reverse grid.
It will be Paul Hans who will start from pole position.
Yeah.
But just to point out, Ricardo Pessoa Santos says in Portugal it is COD and sardine.
Cod.
So those are the
Cods.
two types of cods.
I love sardines too as well, and I love cod. So yep.
I do not love sardines and I do not love cods. So.
You know a seafood man?
No.
No.
I don't know why, but I just do not like it.
You live practically on the water. You live underneath the ocean in the Netherlands. Underneath the sea level, and you don't like seafood. All right.
Yeah, because they're a danger to us.
What?
They could actually take over our country
Yeah, they could.
if there's a big flood. The Netherlands does not exist anymore.
Well, you guys are consistently like just digging out stuff, right? Because everything's sinking, I believe, in like Amsterdam and stuff like that. So there's just so. And I was actually surprised at how much the water flows through the canals when I was living there, because you kind of think about it. If the water isn't consistently moving, it would stink after a while. But let's go to the race and worry about the podcast a little bit later on.
The race. The 5 front lights are on, and it's lights out, and we're green for race 2 here. Alexander Nagachenko starting from the pole position out of Norbert Juhasz. Paul Hans, though, in 3rd, and he will be looking to make that move immediately on Alexander Nagachenko. Sorry, that's Norbert Juhasz down the inside of Alexander Nagachenko. Can he make that move just a little bit further back? We're looking now on the back of Norbert Juhasz's car.
Yeah, it's gone around.
Norbert Juhasz or Alexander Nagachenko going really wide there at Maggots, and that has allowed Norbert Juhasz to take up that first position. And Paul Hans also going past, but he does have the inside of Paul Hans still. So could he make that move back past Paul Hans? Let's see what he can do. Braking, and it's going to be even at the moment Fabio Gil who's going to go around the outside of him. Not the start that Alex Nagachenko was looking for. Just a little bit further back though, Artem Makarov, because this is for the championship in Category 1 in 6th. And Alex Everitt in P12, so 6 positions still in between that. So a big job to do, or tough job to do here for Alex Everitt in order to win that championship in this race.
Yep, a lot of work to do, and try to get those early overtakes, of course, and your 15 minutes that you have down to 13 or so now to make their way around into lap 2, lap 3 coming up in a minute. There's Makarov, and you know he needs to, as just mentioned before, he needs to finish ahead. It's contact with his teammate.
That is Alexander Nagachenko, the man starting for pole position. And he is now out of any contention for the lead. That is not what you want to see. On the grass there is the number 9. It looks like Stef Kramers. He's going all over the back of Nina Vladislavievich, trying to make that pass, and that has allowed Alex Everitt to come up around the outside. He's not going to allow this one, and he is almost perpendicular to the road. Stephen Kramers has allowed Boki Obradovic pass though, and that is once again a little bit of a setback for Alex Everitt as well. Stephen Kramers not making it easy here for the championship leader. Great Deakin now trying to make that pass, and it is Alex Everitt ahead of Steve Kramers now. With Steve Kramers making that pass once again, Alex Everitt. And he's really putting up a big fight to the championship leader here.
You got to be giving everything you possibly can at the moment, because there'll be something at the front here. And is that Paul getting overtaken by Norman Paul, of course, Norman.
I think it's the other way around. I think it's Paul Hans trying to overtake Norbert Juhasz. Not able to do it into Brooklands. He's going to have to hang it around the outside. A popular move to do, and then keep the inside for the next part, the right-hander of Luffield. But it's such a tricky move to do. Paul Hans, though, has to watch out that he doesn't lose another position. Alex Ward, though, in 4th, trying to make that move on Fabio Gil. But both Alfa Romeos from both Paul Hans and Fabio Gil up in the top 3 now.
And has that championship been over? Because Makarov is, he's still in the course, the race there. So there he is at the moment. He needs, obviously, he has to be finishing ahead.
He has to finish ahead in order to keep his championship
Alex,
streak
exactly.
alive.
He has to. So at the moment, his teammates also battling up the road there can try to help him out, I guess, somewhere along the line if you're going to try to defend yourself from Alex, who's down in P11 at the moment. So
Yes,
making some gains, and a little bit of a bumping and grinding has slowed him down a little bit. And let's have a look at Vlad.
Look at that flat tire going up the inside of Alex Ward. Makes that move, but shoots wide a little bit on the exit. It's bumping and grinding here, as Biggles loves to say. And it is finally flat tire past Alex Ward, and he can now put his eyes forward towards Paul Hans and Norbert Juhasz. Fabio Gil has dropped down to P6. What has actually happened to him? He was in the top 3, I think, just a lap ago.
He might have come off track here because he's under pressure right now from Markov. Big time. And guess who's always in the background? Always lurking and always driving's Nenad. So he's joined this party, of course. He's got Fabio Gil around him.
Oh, a little bit of a touch on the back of Artem Makarov. That is not helping his championship. Nenad has to watch out here. He could just bump Artem Makarov out of any championship contentions. And he will not be happy with that. But Fabio Gil keeps his position now. And once again, look at that. Steph Kramer's here trying to make the move around the outside of Nenad Everitt. But Alex Everitt dropping back actually from Steph Kramer. So Steph seems to have some genuine pace here in this race.
He does. There he is here. Of course, my friend, he's Dutch, right? We know Dutch drivers can drive. That's for sure. Further at the moment there, you got Fraser. That's
they
a
can
little
drive.
bit of pressure on Vlad. Of course.
They can drive, but not all Dutch drivers can drive fast, Biggles.
True.
We're not all Max Verstappen's.
This one can. This one can.
Oh, yes,
both
this one
can. So can Alex. So can Fraser.
Alex Ward there trying to keep ahead of Fraser Rustins in the numbers 96.
Oh,
Number
up the road.
55 is Fraser Rustins, but it's getting so close up through Paul Hans. This is for first position. Look at this. The top 5 within a second, top 6 within a second even. And Norbert Juhasz trying to make the move around the outside of Paul Hans. He's going to be able to make that one stick. It's a popular move, and Paul Hans is off. But he does keep the car going in a straight line. Can he now keep it around the outside of left field in order to make that move stick here for Paul Hans? Norbert Juhasz did have a little touch there with Paul Hans, but they're side by side going into Cops. And once again, it is Norbert Juhasz who has to slot in second. And it's Paul Hans making that Alfa Romeo as wide as possible. And that is a beautiful move there. Now up the inside of Cops goes Vlad Altara. Can he make that move stick then? Norbert Juhasz has to yield out this time and is going to even lose the position to Alex Ward. This is how close it is. The top 5 within a second. And once again, a touch there by Alex Ward and Norbert Juhasz. And he's now going to drop down a couple of positions more. And then it's also Fraser Rustins now past Norbert Juhasz.
That's what we've seen, isn't it? The bumping there, but if you go really off track in the off-track excursion, of course, you end up in your Majesty's corgi poops, per se, that when she's walking her dogs around here before. Look at this now.
Oh, look at this harmonica effect. All getting close to each other. When one breaks, everyone has to brake, so you get kind of an harmonica effect, but...
If you brake early, too, of course. Yeah, that just throws it off completely for everybody. Trying to go pedal to the metal. Nobody wants to lift and coast, and nobody wants to do anything, as you can see. Alex is putting in a little bit of a battle. And guess where he's with? Well, I was going to say, he's almost back to the Alex and Nenad show again there for a second. The only problem is at the moment, they got the newcomer Dutch driver in town here, splitting that championship battle that they've been having all season long. Of course, unfortunately, Nenad can't do it. But Makarov can, and he's still ahead, crucially, of Alex, who's running in P10 right now.
Yeah, but the thing is, Alex is not past Steve or Steph Kramer yet, but they have both been getting closer to Artem Makarov. And that is, I think, going a little bit wide there is Fabio Gil. Got touched a little bit wide, but now this is potentially a place where Alex can lose that position. Or maybe Steph can use that position. Can Alex use Fabio Gil ahead of him to get side by side with Steph Kramer? Yes, he can. This is very smart driving from Alex Everitt. He's going to be side by side through Cops. Is he going to yield, or is Steph going to yield? No one is going to yield. This is Lewis Hamilton versus Max Verstappen. Belike, the Dutch driver on the outside this time. The driver from Great Britain does not touch the driver from the Netherlands, and they do get through there cleanly.
Wow. How's that, isn't it? It's the Dutch versus the UK through Cops. Once again, it's the last time you heard that. Well, it's back again.
The last time we heard that, it ended really badly, but now it's Alex Everitt finally passed Steph Kramer, and now he can look towards Fabio Gil ahead of him, and then Nenad Vladicevic. 2 cars between him and the man he needs to pass in order to win the championship in this race. Can he do it? Is the question. Fraser Rustins, though, all over Alex Ward here, as he has been the whole race, and that gap still less than 2/10.
And time is not on your side right now if you're Alex to wrap it up, at least in race 2. So you got about 5 minutes to go, and Alex has got a little bit of... The problem is he's got Nenad up the road from him, right? And we all know what happens when Alex and Nenad are racing. He now does not make it easy to overtake, and he's not going to allow it easy for Alex to get past, that's for sure. Is Nenad going to work in favor here for Makarov to help him out, at least in the championship? I'd say why not.
Oh, look
Steph gets in here.
Steph Creamers comes past once again, comes flying past up the inside. Beautiful move there by the Dutch driver, but now he has to keep the inside into Brooklands. Can he do it? Alex Everitt fighting together with Steph. This has been a battle since lights out, and Alex Everitt going to carry it around the outside, but he has Nenad Vlajavjevic ahead of him as well. Now he has the inside. 4.
Where do you go? It's like the
Exactly.
M2 traffic coming here into Silverstone. It's just jam-packed.
He's ahead of Steph Kramers once again, but that was a beautiful fight through Brooklands and Lovefield. And now can he look up the inside of Kops on Nenad Vlajavjevic? No, he can't. Is that going to allow Steph once again with a good run out of Kops past him? He's going to have to fend it off. He's going to put Steph on the grass. The first time he has been there. He's going to try it around the outside now. Not able to do it. Nenad Vlajavjevic also not allowing him past Artem Makarov though. Being pressurized by Fabio Gil. Fabio Gil now losing that position to Nenad Vlajavjevic. Can Alex now make that pass on Fabio Gil as well? To put only one car between him and Artem Makarov, the one he needs to pass. Only 4 minutes and a little bit of spare left for Alex Everitt to do so. He's going to go around the outside of Brooklands. Can he make that one stick down the inside of Lovefield? Is he going to be able to make that move on Fabio Gil? They're side by side through Lovefield. Fabio Gil is going to have to yield here. They're still side by side. And I think it is, in the end, Alex Everitt with the better run onto the international pit straight. And he's now ahead. Only one car between him and Artem Makarov. And he's going to try and overtake him here into Kops, but not able to do so. Nenad Vlajavjevic is once again going to throw a spanner into the works of Alex Everitt here.
Yeah, this is it. It's not going to be easy to get past Nenad, that's for sure. Absolutely not. Nenad's going to put a fight, and he's already put a fight, hasn't he, of everything he has to do to drive this car in general. So absolutely no reason. And here we go, Makarov as well too. He's got Normand up the road, so he's got to make sure he's going to clear something here because he's under attack massively here from behind.
This is amazing. Look at that. Artem Makarov losing maybe the position. Nenad Vlajavjevic, this could be crucial for the championship. Alex Everitt is going to try and toe up behind Nenad Vlajavjevic. This could be the moment where the championship is decided. Alex Everitt past Artem Makarov. They're going to be side by side through Kops. Both championship protagonists, and Alex Everitt does get past Artem Makarov though, goes back on the exit. Artem Makarov, can he make the pass down the inside of Maggots? No, he can't. That is Alex Everitt ahead of Artem Makarov now. Is this the moment, Biggles, where he has won the championship?
It would very much be, and of course, Makarov is going to be very aware of this. He's got to give everything he possibly can.
Alex Everitt now, is going to be able to make this move on Nenad as well to get up another position, or is he going to lose a move? Oh, no. Look at that. Nenad's almost around, and he's going to lose a couple of positions. Look at that. It is Artem Makarov all over the place. Nenad Vlajavjevic losing a couple of positions, but I think, Biggles, now it's done. Artem Makarov dropped down to P9. Alex Everitt in P6. I think this is championship done.
Yeah, I would have to say at the moment it's going to be a miracle, of course. We see the fighting spirit, haven't we, from Ukraine. So they're not going to give up. That's absolutely for sure. They're going to give up on track. Is he going to get an overtake? A couple of overtakes here. What's that? Just a lap cars, I believe. So he's still going to be here. But it could be very much the stamp licked and sent, maybe.
Makarov. That's not where he wants to be. Fabio Gil, though, once again past him, but look at that. Steph Kramers once again up behind Alex Everitt, but under attack now from Alex Ward is Paul Hans in the Alfa Romeo. Meanwhile, Vlad Tatara at the front of the field is going to come through to complete lap 14, and it's going to be close once again. Lap times from underneath a minute. Is that going to bring us towards another lap? It's going to be really, really close this time round. This could be the white flag lap. We'll see at the end of it. But Vlad Tartara now maybe starting the last lap. Alex Ward ahead of or behind Paul Hans. It's 2:10 still, this gap. A little bit further back, Alex Everitt still ahead of Artem Makarov. And this could decide the championship with maybe this lap and another lap to go. I think this is done for Alex Everitt. Now, don't take any risk. Try and get the better exit here. It's Steph who wants to try and overtake Alex Everitt here. Steph is not going to leave this with an easy pass here for Alex Everitt. But Alex Everitt himself trying to make the move for Norbert Juhasz. Could Steph maybe compromise his run a little bit on the entry to try and get the exit? They do touch Alex Everitt. Keep your race alive, because this could be very, very tricky here. This could be his championship falling away from him, but he does not make the move, and Norbert Juhasz backs out of it in the end. The smart decision to do is Vlad Tatar going to come across the line before the end of this? The answer is yes, he is. Now we have the white flag lap. This is the last lap of the race.
No, it's checkered flag.
No, it's checkered flag.
Yeah.
Vlad Tatar has won it.
He's won it.
And it's Alex Everitt who's champion of this season. Alex Everitt here passed Artem Makarov on the second to last lap of this race. And Biggles, we have to congratulate him. He has been consistent all season long. And he has finally won the championship that he deserved. Very consistent. But here we have the result from race 2. Vlad Tatar wins. Paul Hans ahead of him. Alex Ward in P3. P4 for Fraser Rosses. Norbert Juhasz in P5. And there we have our champion of this season, Alex Everitt in P6. Steph Kramers in P7. He made it difficult for Alex Everitt to pass there. Even passed him back onto the Wellington straight with a beautiful move up the inside. Fabio Gill in P8, P9, Artem Makarov P10. Craig Deek in P11. Boki Obradovic P12. Elliot House P13. Remo Snyder P14. Steven de Graveler P15. Adam Locke P16. Nina Vladijevic P17. Ryan Hand P18, Rui Sousa, Carl Schmidt in P19, and Gabriel Lopez in P20.
Yeah, and we have an interview, of course. We have to hear from the man that's the champion that's done it. He's going to be coming and joining us. We'll grab Alex, of course, and pull him out of the car, pull him into the casting box, and have a listen to him. Alex, congratulations, my friend. You are the world champion of the World Touring Car Challenge here for Crest Autosports.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, a real tough race there, but good fun race. And yeah, there was a minute I thought, nah, I'm probably not going to get Makarov here, but yeah, thanks to Nina, he sort of paved the way for me. But yeah, really, really happy.
Yes. Just about that, because I think both of us went to grab a drink real quick there. So Alex, yeah, so far, how's it all panned out? It was tight towards the end there, and then you're battling your, of course, once again with Nenad. That rivalry was heating up once again, and Mr. Makarov unfortunately could not just keep it ahead of you, of course, there, and keep his championship alive for race 3.
Well, yeah, as I mentioned, Makarov made it quite hard. He got quite a few places ahead. But yeah, as I mentioned, Nenad sort of paved the way for me to get through. But yeah, that race was especially difficult. It's a very difficult track to overtake on. So there's a little bit of doubt going through my head, but it all managed to pan out in the end. Really good race there with Kramers and Nenad there. But yeah, for pretty much I could put my feet up for the rest of this championship now. Thrilled about that.
You can't. You still got 40 kilograms of a driver's trophy in the trunk of the car, my friend, or the boot, whatever you want to call it. But it's there. You've been driving with it for some time now. And actually, you're gonna, after this third race, you'll be able to pull it out and put it on a trophy. Have you already measured the trophy space on your shelf? Where are you going to put it?
No room. Plenty of trophies up there. There's no room for it. No, yeah, when it comes to race room, I think it joins 3 or 4 other sort of championships. So, but this one's probably the hardest one to achieve of them all because it's such a good grid out there. So credit to everyone. I think if we had Steph Kramers in the whole season, it would have been, well, it obviously would have been even more difficult. So credit to the grid here. They've not made it easy. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and it was definitely bumping and grinding out there. We apologize. A couple of drivers had lost connection there, as Marta Jorgen did. Stock did as well, so it's very, very unfortunate. Yeah, call it touring car racing. course, well, that's what it's about. You have to bump and grind. It's very hard to overtake around here, as it's clearly proven.
It is, yeah. You kind of have to you have to line up and overtake on the outside of the first corner to get on the inside for the next corner. It's really tricky in that sense. So yeah, that's just the nature of this track. It's why it's one of the most exciting places the British Touring Car Championship visits each year. So yeah, race 3 should be interesting with a very, very big, sizable reverse grid, and Nenad's starting near the front on this one. So yeah, we can pretty much wave him goodbye. But yeah, this final race is going to be an interesting one.
As well as that, yeah, the new Dutch. Now, it was flashback memories, wasn't it? I'm sure it was for you, seeing a Dutch driver and a British driver go side by side through cops at high speed over and over again. Yourself and Steph.
Yeah, it was the same thing over and over. Every time I got past Steph, he'd get straight back past me if I left the door ever so slightly open. So yeah, it was a really good battle with him throughout the entirety of that race. Good driver he is. Yeah, glad he's on track with us today.
Yeah, and then she said, "Go ahead."
From that
Dan's back.
yeah, I think because we learned from that don't give a Dutch driver a gap or he will go for it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But remember, he's doing it at home, Silverstone, where you had mentioned that, Alex, you do live pretty close to the track, right?
Yeah, I live about half an hour to 45 minutes from Silverstone.
We thought you were actually living in the pit lane in the garage at the back there. Just have a little room there set up because it seems to be the amount of time that you're putting in
feeding on oil and spark plugs.
So that's interesting. So how are you going to feel going into the third race? Because you won the first race, of course, and in the midfield for this one, but it's all you needed to do, of course, to get the championship done. You want to go out with a bang, don't you? Not the car exploding, of course, but winning potentially the last race with the most challenge, of course, for the reverse grid.
Sorry to burst your bubble. I don't think I'm going to win race 3 here, particularly as Nenad is going to be starting third on the grid in this one. But it's hard to overtake on this track, so a top 3 would be insanely good. A top 5 would be the target at this point because it's going to be hard getting up from. Let me just quickly see where I'm starting. Where's my name? I'm starting 13th. So yeah, it's where I started in the previous race. So a top 5 would be great. Top 3 would be unbelievable.
And we know that's wrapped up there for the C1 class. How's it all panning at the moment there? Both you, Dan, and yourself, they're asking the questions out there for the rest of the championship, of course.
So in regards to CA2, it's a bit hard to work out because Remo hasn't quite had the results he wanted today. So I think it may well go into next week based on the results I've seen tonight because you has scored good points tonight in CA2.
It is.
So yeah, I think it may well go into next week, but I think it's still well and firmly in Schneider's hands.
Yeah, I've just pulled up the standings at the moment for us to look at, but of course these are before this weekend started, so once again, you need calculators to kind of work all that one out there. But we do have them. Obviously, Remo's in here, Norman's in here, Alex is in here, Fabio's in here. Ricardo Santos is not, unfortunately. Aurora Ishia's not, but they're a little bit too far back in the championship now. And the C3, of course. Stevie's here, Craig is here. Anastasius, I love this Greek driver. He's not, unfortunately, here this evening. In the CA3, so that's I think he did say he was not going to be here for this one, but you never know, mate. The finals, and they are pretty close as well. But this could be Stevie's chance to get a little bit more points on Craig.
I think heading into, just to mention about CA2, I don't think we're going to know on broadcast what's happened with that championship. I think that's just going to have to wait till on our social media after tonight's broadcast or in the next race if Remo secures that championship. So unfortunately, we won't know about that tonight. But CA3, I very much think that's between Stephen de Gravelia and Craig Deacon now. I think heading into tonight, with drop rounds considered, the drop rounds refreshed after tonight, of course, I think Craig would have had a 12-point lead or an 8-point lead. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But I think it's very much between them two. So definitely keep an eye on them two battling in this third race.
Yeah, that will be it because yours is wrapped up, my friend, for the CA1s. So we obviously won't. We'll probably be more focusing on those drivers as if they're battling. We'll focus on all the drivers that are battling it out, of course, on the track, wherever they are. But that'll heat it up. So yeah, mate, you might not get as much camera time come the third race. Because you'll always get the camera time because you're always there in the mix in the wars. But we'll be obviously keeping a really close eye on those other 2 championships that'll still be wrapped up. And of course, overall, as well, in the team's championship, how's that one spicing up?
Oh, to be honest, I really don't know. Sad thing is, my teammate tonight, Nigel, he disconnected for race 2, so that's really put a dampener on our championship hopes. But the Honda Privateer team, which consists of Remo Snyder and Norbert Juhas, which is a bit tricky because they're both fighting each other for the Category 2 championship. But yeah, they're running away with it at the moment. They've put in the results, they've turned up to the races, and that's how you win teams championships. Just attending and scoring points. So we'll see how they are after tonight, but they've definitely got one hand on the cup.
Yeah, Dan, what do you think about that? That certainly is very, very close to calculate everything. Between Honda Privateer, obviously the Crest Autosports Apex Tracks team, the Ukrainian they're getting a whole of points too. So those top 3, very much with one more round. Of course, one more round tonight, and then 3 more final races at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, well, really difficult to calculate, really, because there are a lot of cars from one manufacturer in in the series. So you have to know all the points that they gather together in order to really calculate that.
Yeah, it's a bit too tricky to work out tonight for the team's championship, but I think what we'll do next week is, because drop rounds won't count for round 10 next week, we'll be able to do the points on the fly next week. So that should give us a good idea of what's going on throughout the night next week. But I don't think the team's championship can be tied up this week, and I do think Category 2 and Category 3 will go into next week.
There you have it, everybody. So hopefully those disconnections and reconnections will be back to get everybody, of course, because we reloaded another session. See, we want to get everybody driving as much as they possibly can, and now once again you can just relax, my friend, and just chill around Silverstone for one last time before you go to Brands Hatch.
I will just enjoy this final race, yes.
And the practice session at the moment, even he doesn't even need practice at the moment, does he, Dan? Because he's been in the casting box with us for an interview. As everybody else now there's got a little bit of their practice session, of course, before we get ready for that final race, which is you are aware of, and to show obviously the itinerary, because that's going to be the grid based on that second race, reverse top 18 and 20 minutes rather than 15. And those results, mate, you can kind of do the math on that, right? Top 18, so yep. And guess you're going to have Rio, I think it is. Rio Sosa will be the one that's starting on pole. And then Ryan Han, and then, of course, Ninad is going to be starting in P3, and probably we'll try to get to P1 by first lap or second lap.
I will not take a Ninad, Biggles. What is his last name again?
You know exactly what it is. You can pronounce it perfectly for me.
Could you try it once again?
No.
By the end of the season, I want you
if he wins this race, I'll do it. Again. If he wins this third race. How's that sound?
There's a big chance he actually is gonna.
Yeah, I know. So I'm putting myself in it, aren't I? My gambling.
Don't gamble, kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but you gamble on Apex Tracks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And one of our sponsors here at Crest Autosports, as well as everybody else. Now, because the season is obviously wrapping up after this one, we have Brands Hatch. So make sure those of you who are very much interested, you can get ready to sign up for the new upcoming seasons and maybe some upcoming other sporting categories as well here at Crest Autosports, and we'll probably announce that one next week. I think there are some surprises to come. We'll see. Right, Dan? We don't know yet. Oh, we can't officially announce it to you yet as the silly season it comes to a closure. for the race drivers, and they get to celebrate, they get to put their feet up, and no doubt put more and more practice into how they're going to come back out into the next upcoming seasons, and try to bring it, obviously, to some of the defending, well, obviously now the defending champion of Alex, but we still don't know how the other two divisions are wrapped up, obviously, as well as the manufacturers and the teams. Lots to be decided still.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns at the moment still in the championships, but yeah, I think in the manufacturers championship or in the teams championship, really difficult to put a pin on who's gonna win that one. But yeah, in category 2, I think if we look at the points how they were before this evening, it is still Remo Schneider who's really in with a really good shot. It is still his to lose at the moment. So if he can just finish behind Norbert Juhasz all the time, but just one position behind him, he will still be crowned champion in the end of it. So he doesn't even need to finish in front of Norbert. He just needs to finish close enough to him in order to not lose too many points.
Yep, very much so. It gets difficult, doesn't it, at that point of your racing? That's when it kind of really, like, you hope to have an engineer out there that can sit there and crunch those numbers for you so you can work it out. I mean, you know, most, even Formula 1 drivers, didn't you, when it come down to, is that Glock moment? Obviously, it was Lewis Hamilton back in 2008. Like, he probably didn't even know. The team didn't even know. And at that point, too, sometimes, do you even tell your driver anything? Or do you just let your driver do what the driver does best, which is drive?
Well, it depends. Is he taking risks? Yes, I then would tell him. If he's not taking risks and just still driving normally and not taking too many unnecessary risks, I wouldn't tell him. Because what's the point? If he is taking risks, I would tell him, mate, you're now in a position where you are winning the championship. Don't take too many silly risks with overtaking people you don't need to anymore.
Yeah. But we know that for a fact, my friend. You can tell a driver one thing, but they never do the same thing that they're told.
Oh, they will.
It's because they're drivers, mate, and that's why they're quick. Because they don't listen. And sometimes too, it helps. I mean, you know, you see, obviously there's pit stops and things like that too. Some drivers can make a decision better than an engineer, but at the moment, the decisions they're going to need to be making is to how they're going to pan out for the final race this evening here at the World Touring Car Championship, presented by Crest Autosports, and the Portuguese driver will be on pole, and they got a green flag.
It's green. Rui Sousa starting from pole position. He will lead the field away. Ryan Hand just behind him, but already side by side with Nina Vladislav. Can he make that move really early on in the race up at P2 to try and overtake Rui Sousa immediately after that? Not really able to do so at the moment. So Rui Sousa will remain in P1. Goes a little bit wide on Maggot's corner. A really good exit for Ryan Hand. He's going to overtake Rui Sousa. And now Rui Sousa has to try and make that pass into Lovefield. Is he going to be able to make, or into Brooklands, then into Lovefield. He's going to be able to make his way past. Oh, that is Nina Vladislav with a beautiful move there. Around the outside of Rui Sousa, and Ryan Hand now is under pressure as well, and it's Nina Vladislav already up to P1. And I have a funny feeling here, my man, that you are going to have to pronounce it.
I'm going to have to eat my words for sure. Exactly. But we kind of figured that. I actually said I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't leading this race by lap 1, and he practically is as they cross the line to lap 2, so give or take. Come on, Nina. You should have been in pole position by lap 1, but he did start from P3, remember, and we know how difficult it is to overtake around here. And look where Stevie is too, mate. This is obviously very crucial. But just as I spoke and put the camera on him, went a little bit wide. Now, this is Steven, of course, that's leading the C2 championship, I believe, at the moment.
C3.
So, yeah, C3. So it's crucial for him and his team, of course, as Lincoln Co., to try to get some more crucial points here.
Yeah, but look who's just behind him. It is Remo Schneider at the moment. So also really close to him.
Yeah.
Both in that Honda, it is Remo Schneider. Also, he is leading the CA2 championship. So, yeah, some interesting fights here going on with that reverse grid.
It's got Makarov behind, of course, that was just missed out on that championship. with Alex. He's got Alex behind him now, and he did it in the previous round, but obviously Alex is going to have a little bit of a chill moment right now. I don't think Alex is going to chill. I think Alex is still going to try to win this race, of course. But,
isn't it normally, though, Biggles, that the moment there's no pressure on your result anymore, you actually start performing really, really good?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, you're less stressed. And the pressure makes you force mistakes. As look at the background there. Is that Alex actually putting some pressure on the inside? He's going for it on Steph. I think it's now an interwar battle, isn't it, between the Netherlands and the UK. And there's a bunch of UK. Of course, there's Ruri as well for Portugal in this mix.
It is 4 against 1 behind Steph, so it's definitely UK on top at the moment. But Steph once again keeps ahead of Alex Everitt, and yeah, it's a fierce fight. This one, Alex Everitt is going to try it up the inside of cups. Yes, he is. Nothing to lose for him at the moment, and it is Alex Everitt past Steph Kramer. So who is that going wide there? That's Rui Sousa dropping down the order faster than a stone in the ocean. There you have a pun for me. Normally never do that, but now there you have one.
Oh, he can't stop the car.
That was really wide.
Just say he's got brake failure or something. That car just does not stop. He's trying his best here, but definitely some sort of issue. And now Fraser's going to come on a little bit of pressure from Vlad, and he certainly will.
Fraser Rosses, though, is going to keep the inside line. Vlad Tatar is going to have to go the long way round. Not able to do it. Oh, really? Why? Once again there, Rui Sousa in the background.
I think he's got damage or something. He's definitely struggling right now with that car. And it's a matter of bringing it home more than anything. And keeping it within the little white lines limit on the tarmac is going to be even more crucial.
Yeah, maybe he has an issue with his hardware that is failing. But oh, look how late Adam lock breaks, though. Makes a late move up the inside. Does not pay off. And Vlad Tatar gets through that once again. But look at that. I think that was Alex Everitt there overtaking Steph Kramer. Oh, that's a big hit there on Paul Hans, his Alfa Romeo. But that was, I think,
and look where Alex is at the moment. He's not slowing down at the moment. He's in the mix of the other battle, of course, which is very important. Remo Schneider is in between them, and of course they're in their own inter battle championships for their classes. So really, and Alex did get past Remo, and Remo at the moment. Well, are they really side by side? It's really hard to see. They're not.
They are side by side, and it is Remo Schneider who gets out ahead actually. So Remo Schneider now ahead of Alex Everitt.
I guess, and also crucially, this man, Steph and Alex are at it. I think they Steph wants to beat Alex, right? He knows, obviously, he joined late in this, and it must be fantastic as exactly what Alex had said in the interview just before, that he would have really enjoyed to go side by side, wheel to wheel racing, obviously, with your Dutch comrade.
He would put down a marker, I think.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Steph's going to come in here and go, all right, mate, so you got the Drivers' Championship for now, but let's see a perhaps future sneak peek in to what happens next season between these two drivers, because look at it, they're going to go at it.
And there's going to be Steph around the outside of Remo Schneider. Can he do it? Also, Remo Schneider in the Honda, so to be the lead Honda this is, he has to watch out that he doesn't lose that position to Alex Everitt as well, attacking on Remo Schneider. But look at this, Alex Everitt not going to do this one, but they're side by side through cops. And Steph once again coming out ahead, not lifting in any way or form. And Remo Schneider now looking to do exactly the same. Alex Everitt is going to try and make that move up the inside, and yes, he does, and he's through on Remo Schneider as well now. Yeah,
but guess who's buying? This is his next target. Right now, once again, UK versus the Netherlands. Probably through cops as well at some point, but there we go. Heavy braking into this corner. Is he going to sneak one on the inside? He's going to very much try, my friend. But unfortunately, you got the Dutch Orange Army somewhere around the track here. Probably lighting up a few of those orange flares. He's holding him at bay. Absolutely holding him at bay.
He is saying, not this time, not this time, buddy. You might have won the championship, but I'm putting down a marker. Next season, it's not going to be as easy for you as it was this season, maybe. But Steph is really putting up a great fight here against Alex Everitt.
Yeah, Steph has probably a lot. Like, I mean, we know at the moment that Alex has got nothing to lose here, so he can go full risk and full rewards or nothing.
Yeah, but it's the same for Steph. He also has nothing to lose.
Yeah, Steph does it because I think that's just a pre-show, isn't it, for what will be coming in the future, as you mentioned. As Makarov at the moment, still, I think you got to just get a little bit more points up there, and still prove that he's quick. And of course, he's certainly quick. All the Ukrainian drivers have been absolutely fantastic this season so far and continue to do it, and he's got the job done, and he's moving up to P2.
There's a reason he's P2 in the championship, Big Ol. So you don't get there by having a lot of luck in a 10 race season. So, yeah.
And they're doing it for the team as well. We've got to remember, they're trying to get their team, Lincoln Co., of course, more and more points, because that battle's still undecided. It's crucial. So you're thinking now together as Jorvis would be, you win and lose as a team. And he's trying to chase down Nina, of course, up the road, and he has time. That's probably his big thing, isn't it? To see if he can try to bring it to Nina at the end and overtake him. Why not? Because they've been going out tooth and nail all season. Further back, so now we're seeing who's going out tooth and nail once again, Steph and Alex. And that's behind Steven. And Steven, of course, has a lot here. A lot to lose. More than the other drivers around him, so Steven has to keep it cool here. And remember, his division championship is up for grabs.
It is, but if you look at Remo Schneider and Norbert Juhasz at the moment in P11, and Remo Schneider in P7. So Remo Schneider actually gaining back some points that he's lost this evening overall over Norbert Juhasz. So if he can finish at P7 or maybe even higher, that is really good for his championship chances.
Yeah, that's because Norman's in the wars right here, a little bit further back. We have a lot of action here. Jorgen, of course, did a fantastic job in the earlier races. And Alexander, you can pronounce that surname, of course, there for the Ukrainian driver. You did pretty good at that one.
Alexander Nagachenko.
There you go. El perfecto.
Well, I'm actually thinking about it now, because who says that it's perfect? It might sound perfect to us, but if you really say it in their way,
well, you rolled it off the tongue. I think that's great, and we'll go back to that paddle, of course, there with Steph. If it sounds good off the tongue, I think it sounds good.
I agree with that.
Look at this.
Not running away. Oh, it's Steph up the inside. Oh, Ryan Handy. And he makes that pass into Cobbs. And look who's trying to get with him. And now side by side with him once again. Alex Everitt up the inside. 3 seconds is the gap to the lead. Can they do it? By the end, we're halfway through. That's a little bit too deep from Ryan Hand. He does have a touch with Steph Kramers. He's now going to have the slipstream of Alex Everitt. Can he make that pass maybe into Brooklands and then Luffield? Looks like he's a little bit too far back this time around. And Alex Everitt is going to have that enlarged from really far back there.
Oh, Steph.
Ryan Hand. He is going to say to Steph, no, buddy. I'm not going to lose that position too easy to you this time round. And it is Steph Kramers now behind Ryan Hand. But look at that. He's already getting past once again. Fraser Rostons, this is... No, Ryan Hand, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm changing cameras on you just to tease you, my friend, because it's all over the place right now. They're a little bit further back. You can see the brown car. And that's Fraser. Just in the background there, as we're looking over the back there of your Dutch driver, Steph, because Alex has now pulled a little bit of a lead away from him there. So... Oh, who was that?
That was well seen by Steph. That was, I think, Ryan Hand with a...
Yeah.
With a flyby on Steph Kramers, but yeah, well driven there, and he did well to see that coming.
I tell you, you could imagine if Steph was here the whole championship, and we went down to the last race, to the last lap between the Netherlands and the UK. It would just be like, couldn't fairy tale script that even better. Further back, of course, there's a little bit of actually about Gabriel Lopez and Carl Smith.
We're lucky then, because we don't have a safety car in this series.
Yeah. No, Mikey, no. Well, Jorgen as well is a battle at still occurring. So there's multiple battles on track, as you are all aware, and that has been all season long, and it will not stop until Brands Hatch, race 3. That'll be the last time you're going to see all these multiple battles all the time. Because they're different classes, so they're trying to do their best for their classing championship hopes and their team's championship hopes, as well as the manufacturer. So there's multiple trophies and awards up for grabs here.
Multiple trophies up for grabs here. Paul Hans is definitely going to look to try and get up the inside or around the outside of Vlad Tachara. He's going to have to do up the inside. He flashes him. Not happy with maybe the moves that Vlad is making, but hey, you have to get past here, or well, it's the only way you can really gain that position. It's he's not gonna move over and just wave you by.
I think that's good. You got to be a little bit bumpy. You don't have to worry about a front wing here. It's not Formula 1 cars. They can take a bit of a beating. We've seen it.
Indeed. But look at that gap now at the front of the field with 7 or 6 minutes and a half left. The gap to P1 for Alex has now come down by a second. So Nenad Valijevic might have a little bit of deja vu in the end of this race.
Yeah, I think Markov's going to really chase it down, and he's got time. He doesn't want... He wants to deny him the chance of getting this victory that we kind of did call early that's going to happen, and deny me the opportunity of pronouncing his surname, perhaps. So we'll see. Come on, Markov. Deny me that. Just don't let me try to pronounce... don't Nenad's name again. It's turning into a meme now.
Are you so bad with names in general, Biggles, or is it just that?
No, I'm in generally really bad with names, and that's why I'm called the Biggles Butcher of drivers' names. I give them nicknames after a while. Next season, if we are back, of course, in casting for James Parrott Broadcasting, then for sure I will be getting nicknames for these drivers. Now that we've had a season to kind of learn, and any new drivers out there that'll be joining the league, and hopefully there will be plenty of them, then at some point I'll get you a nickname. But for now, we'll at least have Dan and James to pronounce your names correctly. Hopefully.
Well, it's Fraser Roston's looking at the back of Ryan Han as we switch to Norbert Juhasz, who's down on P14. Meanwhile, Remo Schneider in P6, so he could gain a lot of position or a lot of points here. Norbert Juhasz looking up the inside of Alexander Nakachenko.
Let's go back to this battle, sorry.
Already able to make that move. This is Fraser Rostons together with Ryan Han. Ryan Han on the outside now. Fraser Rostons with the better exit. He actually gains that position over Ryan Han, and he's now passed, and he's going to be able to chase down now on Remo Schneider. Remo Schneider in P6 also very consistent this race, I have to say.
Yep, has to be too, because of the championships that are battling around him, as you're well aware of. And we'll keep an eye on there on Artem Makarov as well, because he's getting pretty spicy. I'm not in the wrong one there. That's Frazier, of course, battling that Ryan Han. And yeah, keep an eye if Mr. Makarov can try to get something done in about 4 minutes and change there to catch up to Nenad. That will be the question that will certainly be answered in 4 minutes and change. For now, this question is not answered between these drivers, and Alex now is actually putting a pressure right now on the top 3 on Markov. So, and on top of it, Alex has already beaten Mr. Makarov to the championship, but he's now wanting to beat him on track, and we'll go to that one, because look at this. It's Alex's pressure time here. You give this man clear track, and he puts in laps that are just smashing records.
Alex Everitt now really close, and is he going to be able to make that move into Maggots maybe? Not really able to do so this time round, but maybe with a good exit he can do something onto the Wellington Straight, because a little bit further back in the background, look who is coming up to these two. It is Steph Kramers. If Alex is not going to get past in a second here, he's not going to be able to chase down Nenad Valijevic, but he is also going to be pressurized by Steph Kramers, so he's going to have to maybe force a move here. He's going to have to do that around the outside of left field. Not able to make that move, but now we have a straight coming up with a better exit maybe for Alex Everitt. Artem Makarov getting all out of shape there on the apex of left field, but luckily kept it going straight. Now he's under pressure once again from Alex Everitt. Can Alex Everitt do it up the inside of Cops? Not really able to make that move, not really able to get close enough, Biggles.
We'll keep an eye back on this one too, because we already know that championship's already been decided, but we don't know what the championship's been decided here at the moment with Stevie. As Stevie's got a little bit of pressure from not one driver, but two, Fraser and Ryan. Just saying, all right, we love Spa, my friend, but welcome to Silverstone. So the Belgian driver has to prove everything he can, and he needs these points crucially for his championship hopes.
Yeah, as we said, with drop weeks, he might have been 12 points behind coming into this evening. And he's doing well to catch up those 12 points. Fraser Rosses goes wide, though. That's going to lose him a couple of positions, maybe to Paul Hans as well. Oh, that's not what you want to see.
That's
Fraser
breathing
Roston.
space for Stevie now, isn't it? Look at that. They're gone. So, no problemo. Go back to the, obviously, Alex bringing it on to, obviously, his main championship rival that he had all season long. It's been decided now, but it's not decided on track, of course, because you know that Artem Makarov wants to just get it. He just wants to at least beat Alex for the last race, and why not? Of course. Deny him a chance at winning at home. It's actually going to help Nenad, I have to say, but Nenad actually had a 1.5 second gap a little bit before. Now it's dropped back a little bit. So are they starting to put the pressure? Oh no, Nenad can cover him off, my friend. It's one thing to catch Nenad, it's another thing to overtake him.
We saw that last evening, and it is another thing to indeed overtake him, but are they actually going to catch him? Because all this fighting is going to lose them positions. And we only have about 2 laps to go now, so it's going to be difficult for them to catch them if they don't work together. And in the background there as well, Steph Kramer is catching up to all three.
You just keep mentioning that, don't you? Just because he's a Dutch driver, you know he's too far back, I'd have to say at this point, unless these guys make a mistake. Nenad's going to have to get me to pronounce his surname, because he's looking pretty strong to get this race win, as we kind of did predict, because, you know, he's super quick, and Alex now wants to... This is still, but Alex does want to get past this. You know that for a fact. And Makarov's not gonna let him do it, because he's got... All right, you got the Drivers' Championship, my friend, but I'm not gonna let you win the final race here in Silverstone, where you live just down the road as well, to just to deny him any possible chance of doing it. I don't know. I mean, you know, Alex has got even more of a motivation, doesn't he? Nothing to lose now. Everything to gain.
He's up the inside of Luffield. He's going to be able to make that move stick. As we saw Steph there in the background really wide. And Alex Everitt has to make that move now in order to try and catch up to Nina. We're on the last lap now of this race.
Yeah, we'll go aboard back of Nenad's wing at the moment. And Nenad's got this rear vision view of what's going on behind. They have caught him. But Nenad can easily cover this one off as long as he doesn't crack under the pressure. And Nenad usually never does to crack under the pressure. And Alex now going to put everything he possibly can. Side by side, here we go. Perhaps for the final time this evening.
Perhaps for the final time this evening, that's right. Down the Wellington Straight we go into Brooklands. It's going to be Alex Everitt around the outside of Artem Makarov into Luffield. He will have the inside. If he can keep it around the outside, he does. He's going to go up the inside of Luffield. And that's going to be position done for Alex Everitt.
Oh.
But it will be Nenad Vladislavievich coming across the line to take first position here in the last race of this evening. And Alex Everitt coming through in P2. Artem Makarov P3, Steph Kramer's P4, and Ramos Schneider doing a good job for his championship chances there in P5 in this race.
Yeah, ahead of Stevie as well, I believe. At Paul Hens, I'm sorry, my apologies, did another fantastic job for the German driver. Proving why Germany has... It's cost one of the best engineers and one of the best motorsporting engineers and manufacturers on the planet. He's there. Getting the job done. Good overall performance. Of course, guys out there, remember, we have our driver of the day votes that we have to do. So do not forget about that one, of course. That's the Apex driver of the day. It says driver name at the moment there because I haven't put a driver name in because we need to get one. Who's your votes?
Can we vote as well, Bagels together?
Well, we vote if nobody else does, but we'll contribute to it. I do have to get the driver name in there.
My driver of the day at the moment is... It's either Jurgen Peterson.
You got the results to go through first before we do the driver of the day.
Will do. Nina Vlasijevic finished first. Alex Everitt in P2. Artem Makarov in P3. P4. Steph Kramers P5. Remo Schneider P6. Stephen de Gravelier. Paul Hans in P7. Fraser Rostens in P8. P9 is Jurgen Madsby Peterson. Alexander Nagachenko in P10. Greg Deakin in P11. P12. Norbert Juhasz. P13. Alex Ward. P14. Fabio Gale. P15. Ryan Hahn, P16, Nigel Stock, P17, Rui Sousa, Carl Schmidt in P18, Gabriel Lopez in 19, Vlad Tatara in P20, P21, Adam Locke, P22, Boki Obradovic, and Elliot House in P23.
Yeah, and I would agree, actually. I think I know what you're going to say for the driver of the day, and I'm going to do it. Unfortunately, the graphics is not going to go over that one for a second, but we will confirm right there. I don't think you'd disagree with that one, would you? The Dutch driver of the day?
Well, for him, of course, being new, he did really, really well. But Boki Obradovic did as well.
I'm already calling it. I'm already calling it because I already typed it, so I can't change it now.
Yeah,
it's done.
Driver of the day.
You get it? Because remember, he was, I'm just going to show you, obviously, the race 3 results, but he was battling it out, obviously, with our championship winner of Alex, wheel to wheel. So if you can bring it to the man that's wrapped up the championship, then you're proven to be the driver of the day. Overall, his results were great, as you'd mentioned. Nina, of course, Valashkovsky got the win. There you go. I said it really quickly. If you can't say it properly, say it very fast. He did it, but make sure you scroll up, guys, and check his video out, which I'll have to check out later. Because absolutely fantastic driver, and obviously he's very well loved in the community here as well at Crest Autosport. So that's what we love to see.
Yeah, he is. He is, and he did really well once again.
Always producing overall too. So we obviously have to crunch those numbers and stuff like that because Remo Schneider, Stevie. There, and let's look at that. It's good performance there for some of the teams, trying to get some more points for that. Lots and lots of calculations to be done, of course, and we'll get all that to you by the next round. Any interviews? I think we have a couple for interviews. So, because you don't want to bring in your Dutch driver, let's bring him in, of course. Let's bring in Steph. Let's bring in Alex as well, of course, but we'll go one by one. So we'll get Steph in here. Hello, Steph. And you're going to be live, of course, for the interviews. And Alex, of course, is going to be here. But Steph, mate, well, I don't know how to say congratulations in Dutch. Maybe Dan can say that.
Gefeliciteerd.
Dankjewel, dankjewel.
Welcome along to Crest Autosports, mate. You've proven that. Where have you been all season?
I don't know. Hanging on the couch, I guess. No, it was a very fun race. Like the standard is very high, and there's some fair racing, and it's real touring car racing.
And you obviously had a fun battle there, didn't you, with the championship leader of Alex that has wrapped up the championship. But Alex is even saying Alex is here, and he can ask you questions as well in a minute. But I think you might be is this a pre-show to perhaps a new season of racing between yourself and the driver from the UK, of Alex?
Yeah, for sure. We can do the Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton and Cups next season again.
That's what we were talking about. Obviously, it was happening over and over again. But you're obviously very, very happy coming into this evening, and you keep Dan very happy, of course, because he's loving to see some more Dutch drivers on the grid.
Oh yeah.
You know, there are a lot of Brits, so we need to represent our countries. But like next season, I'll pick another car because the Honda is so slow on the straight. I was losing to everybody on the straight, which made it impossible to overtake. But it was very fast through Copse Corner. You could just hang it around the outside perfectly.
But the car's going to be balanced for all the tracks, my friend. And the next track coming up, of course, is Brands Hatch. You're going to be joining us for that one?
Yeah, I think so. I will try. I have a schedule of school as well, but I think I can get some time to drive, yeah.
You just tell your school, my friend, you're about to go to Brands Hatch to to a world touring car challenge. That's all you need to say as your letter for absence. No, of course, school is more important than racing. But yeah, Dan, any questions? Alex, any questions?
You've asked them already. Are you coming back next season and next round, Steph? Because you put up a great fight against everyone. Good, fair racing. It was good fun racing with you tonight, as I mentioned to you in the interview waiting room. So we definitely have you back. Definitely.
Yeah, we'll definitely try. I actually really disliked WTCR cars, but I was looking to join like the GT Cup, which you guys are also running, but I'm not able to join on Saturday. But this championship on Thursday evening is perfect for me. So next season I'll try to be there.
So what you're technically saying, Steph, is you're disliking the cars, but you're still really quick in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he won't be in a Honda anymore after he said he doesn't like the Honda, so I'm sure Honda's not going to want him to be back in the car. But you have multiple cars to choose from, of course.
Yeah, I know already. I will pick the new Hyundai, the Elantra, I believe. It's so much faster.
Yeah, take it from me. It's a good car.
Yeah, it is. I tried in time trial and I was like a few tenths faster. So we'll see next season. Maybe next season we have a close championship fight, Alex.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, you know what? If I'm going to race next season, guys, I'm going on a Ferrari. I don't know why you're messing around with these cars and go straight to the top.
We'll still beat you, big.
Yeah, you would
Then I'm
actually
gonna
still
go with
beat
an
me.
Aston Martin.
You got to go with an Aston Martin down, all right?
Yes.
So you're going to be hoping to finish a race, I'd imagine. Or is that too soon? Anyway, so congratulations. Well, thank you very much there for the chat. Any you guys want to do any interviews there? Real quick, any questions? We saw a little bit of the Dutch in the chat there. I couldn't figure out. And Dan couldn't have any words for it in English.
Oh, come on, Dan. It was an easy sentence.
for half of it, yeah.
So the Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton battle may very much continue in the future, of course, and it had continued around cops multiple times. Fortunately, both drivers had finished the race and none of the drivers had visited the medical center. So that's what we like to see at the end of the day, isn't it, everybody?
That's
And
good news, isn't it? Yes.
yeah, and Alex, of course, well, I know you probably you weren't drinking and driving, of course. You got to save that champagne for now. And that trophy, that 40-kilogram trophy you've been nursing around the back of the car for some time, is now one that you can remove from the car and put up on the wall alongside your other ones. And yeah, Alex, do you want to wrap it up there for everybody else? What's upcoming? Of course, we still have Brands Hatch. Although, how do you guys feel going into Brands Hatch?
Brands Hatch Grand Prix is a great touring car circuit. It's a little less simple than the Silverstone National tonight, which also is a very classic track. But yeah, Brands Hatch Grand Prix next week. It's a track that just everyone loves, and for touring car racing, it's real good fun. It seemed fitting to end the season here at Brands Hatch next week. So yeah, we're going to see some great championship showdowns next week, and yeah, talking about the future and that sort of thing. Well, I think you guys have got a little bit of news to reveal at some point today.
Oh, was it today? I thought we had to wait for next week. That's Dan. What do you want to say? I thought we had to hold off on that one.
Oh no, that was the other one.
Oh, Dan. All right. Well, then Dan can say that the new news then. One of the news.
Yeah, well, next season we will be back once again with the WTCC. So yeah, once again, like we said, we'll be back with some touring car racing.
Give us a thumbs up and a like, of course, in the stream because it's going to help the community grow here at Crest Autosports. And sign-ups will be obviously, no doubt, underway very soon, Alex, for that.
Yeah, it would be easy if we had the image on screen. If you could grab it very quickly.
Do we have
on,
an image?
Google Drive. Yeah,
Oh,
Google Drive.
okay.
Google Drive.
Okay, send me a link real quick and I'll throw it up, my friend. Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. So yeah, let me get that one. I'm just not doing. James is going to murder me. You know that for a fact.
100% prepared, ladies and gentlemen. 100%. Yeah. As soon as that's on the screen, we'll talk a bit more about it. But yeah, we'll be going back to touring car racing for Thursdays. Again, we'll be kicking off in about 5 or 6 weeks from today with a brand new championship, and we'll reveal the calendar real shortly. But yeah, looking forward to next season. Slightly different calendar we're going for next season. It's a bit more tailored to I'd say longer tracks, because we've gone with the theme of short tracks in this season, and we're kind of going the opposite for next season. But what's really going to differ is the format. So once we're on screen, we'll talk a bit more about it.
Once I get it, I'm locating it. The problem is my wombat has grabbed it in his mouth and he's running around the room right now with that piece of paper, and then I'm trying to steal it away from him, Dan.
The Wombats are a good band, though, aren't they?
Oh, you took the band? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I forgot about the Australian band called the Wombats.
No, they're from Liverpool, mate. Liverpool.
Are they? I thought they were Aussie.
Yes.
You might have to just throw the file straight into the chat for me right now, because I'm just trying to get it. I'm really
all right, I'll try and throw it in there for you. But there is something else we can talk about, and actually it is in category 2. Remo Schneider has in fact tied up the championship in category 2. So big congratulations to him.
Yeah, we
Really?
saw that
Wow.
Remo Schneider finished way ahead of Norbert Juhasz in the last race. I said he gained quite a lot of points back on Norbert, but didn't expect it to be that much for him to win it.
Yeah, I think it was that charge in race 3 where he took the win in the category, and I think he secured it with that final race performance. So well done to Remo Schneider, another champion crown tonight. But yeah, here we go. Yeah,
I got it.
I got it. The honors.
I found it. Go ahead, Dan. Sorry about apologies for the wait, guys.
Well, next season we'll kick the season off with a race at Imola. Like Alex said, we'll be going for the longer tracks, so not the tracks that take us under a minute to complete. But after that race, we'll go to Brands Hatch, where we will finish off this season. So already looking forward to that. Then a home race for Steph if he comes back next season at this.
Yeah, where is that track?
I didn't even know.
Steph, do you know where that track is?
Oh, really?
Of course we do. It says
Yeah, I know.
Well, MotoGP fans will know TT Essen, is it called? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. It's a slight sound of a naughty word in there, yeah. But yeah, MotoGP fans will know the track. We raced it in the previous season from what we're racing now, and it's actually a really good track for touring car racing.
I'm gonna enjoy the kippeling. I think it is the seafood they're gonna have in the Netherlands, of course, when we fly down there from Brands Hatch once again, and then of course Spa. So Stevie might enjoy that track. That'll be his home race if he's racing next season, of course.
Yeah. After that,
and
we'll
then
go to Suzuka.
Suzuka, yeah, mate.
Really
lots of
track.
sushi and sake to enjoy that one. What a classic track! And then back to Germany for a track that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah. Shall I talk about the season
Lausitzring.
actually? Because Lausitzring. Yeah. Shall I talk about the season a little bit now, guys? Just
Absolutely.
Tease up quite nicely for that final round because it's quite a significant one. But yeah, 6-round season. There's a 2-week break in the middle because I'm going to Vietnam, so I won't be able to run the races. Selfish me. Yeah, Imola, Brands Hatch, TT Essen, Spa, Suzuka, and Lausitzring for the final round. So that final round at Lausitzring, it's going to be referred to as the Apex Tracks Grand Prix. And it's a bit of a celebration to our sponsors, Apex Tracks, being our primary sponsor for what's been over a year. It might be their final race with us as main sponsor because we haven't discussed contracts yet or anything like that. But yeah, it's a bit of a homage to them because the actual track that's surrounding the Apex Tracks logo is Lausitzring. So a little bit of trivia for you, ladies and gentlemen. So we figured we'd host a race for them. No idea why they picked Lausitzring as the logo for their track, but it looks pretty cool, so won't deny that. But yeah, that's the calendar coming up for the season. What's the real big difference for next season is the cars are going to return to free choice for everyone. So this season's quite regimented. So we only had, I believe it was 6 manufacturers, and only 6 drivers could take up each manufacturer. But we're opening up next season to all WTCR manufacturers. You can see some of them in the picture there. We've got Volkswagen Golf GTI joining, the Peugeot 308, the Hyundai i30N, the Renault Megane, the Lada Vesta, and the Opel Astra. So they'll be joining the roster for anyone to choose from. We're also considering the BMW E90 320, which is from the WTCC 2013 category, which is a rear-wheel drive touring car. It's subject to approval because we need to check the constraints with hosting the server and broadcasts. But a lot more manufacturers going to be on the grid next season. In fact, a choice of 13 or 14 manufacturers, can't quite remember off the top of my head.
All right, so cars are plenty. So no more drivers complaining about whether they like a car or not. You're going to have a lot of them to choose from. I did post a link in there. Maybe Dan can do it because I'm not a mod, so it's not clickable. But of course, that will be the clickable link you need for the Crest Autosports race room sign up, exactly of what the boss man of Alex has mentioned.
Yeah, opens up on the 6th of October. Sign-ups do, but you can still sign up for next week's final round at Brands Hatch if you wish to take part in the series. But yeah, lots of cars available for next season. And the final bit of news on this is slight. I'll shut up once I've done this, but slight change of format for next season as well. We're going very different with this. Actually, qualifying is going to remain the same. 15 minutes qualifying as standard, and we're going to have a 15-minute sprint race to introduce tonight. Then it's going to be one race to follow the sprint race, which will be a 50-minute sprint feature race, where there will also be a mandatory pit stop where drivers have to take on at least 2 tires required, and fuel is optional. So it means it's going to open that final race up for lots of varying strategies for the drivers. So we're very much looking forward to that addition to the championship. Nowadays, touring car racing is very much sprint-based racing, and we're introducing pit stops and a feature race length, which is quite exciting, in my opinion.
I'd love the pit stops. That's why you throw pit stops in there so things can go a little bit pear-shaped, and strategy then comes into play, doesn't it? The good thing about, obviously, the racing that we had here all season long and continue, obviously, for the final round soon, is that you guys don't have time to even think about a pit stop because it's wheel to wheel, bumping and grinding the whole time. As Dan has posted the link up there. So yeah, Alex, it's been great, mate.
Pretty much. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, no need for pit stops in these sprint races, but next season it just brings another element to this championship, another thing to think about. So we're very much looking forward to it as well. And we might be implementing a safety car as well to introduce like a rolling start for the race.
Yes,
you can drive it if you want.
Woohoo! Okay, all right, done.
We need someone to drive it, so any volunteers?
Dan's pretty good. Dan's pretty good at driving. Anyway. Thank you very much, Alex. I want you to get down there with your team and celebrate your victory, my friend. You've wrapped up the Drivers' Championship already with Brands Hatch to go, so now you can really drive a little bit further away from Silverstone and get up there and go back to my favorite track in the United Kingdom, of course, and Brands Hatch is one that we do love. So, yep, mate, feels good to be a winner.
Will do. Thank you very much, everyone watching. Thank you to you guys. We'll see you next week.
Well then, Biggles, that wraps it all up for us then. It's once again been an amazing evening of racing, and like Alex said, a lot of changes, pit stops coming in next season, and of course that last race at the License Ring for Apex Tracks. But yeah, already looking forward to it. But before we go there, we have a race at Brands Hatch still for us to come next week here at the WTCC this season. So we're not done yet.
We're not, but we're done for this evening. So make sure you tune in on the 22nd of September for the final round of the W World Touring Car Championship here, presented by James Parif, broadcasting with myself, Dan, the double Ds, the Dean and the Dan. We'll be back definitely next week. And we hope all the drivers will be back. And thank you very much for all the chats out there. It does sound awesome. It is awesome. It's called Crest Autosports. Thank you very much.